Good morning. It is a chilly morning, but I thought what a great day to make a vegan breakfast casserole. Now, we're going to be using some creative ingredients and, of course, ingredients that are not difficult to pronounce because you know me. And by the end of it, you're going to be saying, dang, that's delicious. And it doesn't have all this stuff. And for those of you who want to participate in things like Veganuary, which, by the way, is it me or does it kind of sound weird to say like vegan January, vegan? I don't know, it's weird. This is a great meal. You can make it in advance. I don't necessarily suggest trying to make it like on a busy morning, maybe on a weekend morning, no big deal. But this is definitely something you'd want to make the night before. That way in the morning you just grab a slice or whatever it is that you'd like, pop it in your oven, and boom, you've got a delicious breakfast. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the chickpeas here in this pot. They have been boiled, and I've got all the details for you in the recipe notes on the page. The whole goal is just to soften them a bit so that they're easier to mash. So these are already ready to go, and now we're going to get started cooking all of our fabulous ingredients. You're going to start by adding your cooking fat. In my case, I'm going to be using dairy-free butter. You can use anything, oil, butter, whatever floats your boat. Obviously, since it's vegan, you won't be using tallow or anything like that, but you'll pop that in and let it melt. Okay, you can hear that beautiful sizzle. I'm going to add my onion. And I'm going to let this start to cook. I'm also going to add my shredded carrots. Now, you might see all these carrots and think, has she lost her mind? No, she has not. The whole point of creating something like this is we want to give the casserole some body, some texture, or honestly, it's like you're just eating, I don't even know what. So, we're gonna get this going, and to this, I'm going to be adding some salt. I'll get this mixed up, and we will let this cook down for a little bit before we move on to the next step. Okay, the carrot and onion is about halfway through, so now we're going to add a little bit of maple sugar and these really great seasonings along with our spinach. Now, the sugar and the seasonings work together. If you've ever had a breakfast sausage, that's kind of the flavor profile that we're creating. Not that I've had a breakfast sausage, but I'm told that this profile that I've created is just like breakfast sausages. So roll with me on this. We're going to start with the organic maple sugar. Going to add a little more salt. 1 teaspoon of ground mustard. We're adding 3 teaspoons of organic smoked paprika. And 1.5 teaspoons of sage. I've got my favorite smoke. I'm gonna add a few drops of that. And finally, my chopped spinach. While this cooks, if you'll recall, I showed you the chickpeas. What we're going to do is grab a potato masher. We're just going to mash these up. Now that I have my chickpeas mashed, and I'd like you to see, the goal is to just create some texture. You don't want it so mashed that it's like, smooth, silky mashed potatoes. It's more like just mashed chickpea to give yourself something different to enjoy. So I'm going to put this back on medium heat. And now I'm going to add my homemade dairy-free milk. Going to mix this up. Once the milk is heated, we're going to add our arrowroot slurry to help thicken this, and then we'll bring everything together and pop it into the oven. Okay, I've got my arrowroot in some milk. I'm just gonna grab a fork and mix this up. This is how you make an arrowroot slurry. It's a fancy way of saying starch and milk. And you can see what happens as you mix. And once it's mixed well, the arrowroot will be dissolved, and then eventually you won't be able to pick up any clumps. Okay, our mix is bubbling a little bit. That's how we know it's basically hot enough to add the arrowroot slurry. What you'll do is pour it straight in. And then you mix like mad. And as you mix, you should feel resistance start to form, and this will thicken up. Okay, by the power of arrowroot, which I absolutely love, we've got this thick base, okay? I mean, is this not magic or is this magic? This is like big Lego set magic over here. So I've got this, oh my goodness. You guys, if I could eat this, I'd probably totally sample and try a bite. It's so thick and luscious. Like it's, oh my goodness. You know what it looks like? It looks like if you ever saw creamed corn as a child, like really good looking creamed corn, that's what this looks like. So maybe just a little bit of an idea for those of you who are in for that, but you can't eat corn. All right, this is what we've got. And I'm gonna turn this heat off. So we've got this beautifully cooked carrot mix here, okay? And what we're going to do is take our entire mix of our beans and just pop that right on. And what you're going to do is mix everything up. And the reason we're doing it here is just because it's easier. There's more working space. And now I've got my empty, beautiful casserole dish. A good friend actually gifted me this. And we're going to transfer our entire mix to our casserole dish. That's it. We're gonna pop this in the oven and let it bake. That way all the flavors really come together. And then you'll be ready to eat. Look at that. Okay, all done. Okay, I want to show you guys what this is like. I'm super excited for this. It would probably help if I cut it in a size that's easy to scoop up. Let's try this. There we go. Your casserole lifts right out. Ta-da! Okay, how's that for a vegan casserole? I like it. I mean, not that I can eat it, but I like the way it looks. So this is how you make it. I hope you make it, and I hope you say, dang, that's delicious.